there, creepy peeps, and welcome to another Weird Wednesday video. Just recently, like 2 days ago, 1 or 2 days ago, I watched a video over at Horror Addicts. I don't know why I pointed this way. They're not over there. They're in cyberspace on the internet, on YouTube. I don't know where I'm going with this sentence. I was watching a video on Horror Addicts, which I will link below if you want to check out their channel. They're pretty creepy cool over there, if I do say so myself. They did a video about their origin story, like how they got into horror movies and stuff like that. We all have our own little stories about the first horror movie we ever saw and how we got into this crazy genre that we all love. Can you hear my dogs drinking water in the background? I thought it would just be a fun idea to tell you creepy peeps. I can see my dog in the corner. All right. I just thought it would be fun to tell you guys my own origin story as far as horror goes. Crap, now the other dog is coming in. Before I ever even watched horror films, or was old enough to watch horror films, I guess, the first kind of like creepy thing I can ever remember watching was Scooby-Doo. Like those old cartoons. They used to play them on Cartoon Network all the time. But they would kind of play them late at night, so when I was kind of smaller, that's what I would watch before I went to bed, would be Scooby-Doo. That's the first kind of like, even though that's not scary or anything, it's still like dealt with like creepy themes, I guess. As I started to get into like late elementary school, like kind of middle school kind of time, we got like some strange cartoons on like, I can't even remember if all of these were on Cartoon Network or some of them were on Nick. I guess it's just like a combination of some, but I remember watching Invader Zim a lot, which, again, not really scary, but it was just really strange. Like, really strange. I'm not really sure why I like that show. Courage the Cowardly Dog, which I would watch a lot at night as well. And I always thought, I remember thinking certain episodes were really scary, but looking back on it now, that show was messed up. Like, that show was really strange. But I remember like those kind of cartoons being an influence on me and kind of getting me into like creepy sort of things. And that led to things like Disney Channel original movies like Halloween Town and Under Wraps. I think that was a Disney Channel movie too. Does anyone remember that movie, Under Wraps? If you do, let me know in the comments. I used to be obsessed with that movie. So I started watching stuff like that, which got me into Halloween. I say got me into Halloween, like I celebrate Halloween every year, and I always have. But then it started to become like my favorite holiday, and I kind of became like obsessed with it. And then of course, Halloween lends itself to horror movies, you know, because all the TV channels play horror movies all the time during October leading up to Halloween. The very first horror movie I remember watching, if you count this as a horror movie, is Tim Burton's Sleepy Hollow. That was the first like horror movie I remember seeing. I guess, what else would you classify it as? There are some pretty disturbing scenes in that movie. Like the witch part, where she goes all like weird and gnarly in her face, all like Johnny Depp hacking up that tree and all the heads like rolling forward. Okay, it's a horror movie. I can't remember how old I was when I watched it though. I had to have been like, I think I was like 11 or 12. And it was on television, which is, that's gotta be right, because that movie came out in '99. So I would have only been 7, and I definitely didn't see it in a theater or anything like that. So I didn't watch it then. So it must have been like early 2000s when I saw it, because it was on television. So yeah, I must have been like 11 or 12. 10 to 12, somewhere in there, I think. when I saw it. And I was probably a little too young to watch it, but I don't know, I watched it anyway. And that was the first kind of horror movie I saw. I remember being terrified by Christopher Walken and his like filed pointy teeth. I remember for a while not really being into horror movies until I was old enough to go see them by myself. I don't know if anybody else like had this sort of ritual, I guess, but in like the 8th grade, 9th grade, 10th grade and everything like that, the really popular thing to do, at least here in my town in Florida, the popular thing to do was to go to AMC theaters on Friday nights. Like every Friday night, like everyone from school would be at the movies. That was just like the cool place to hang out on Friday nights. So I didn't really start getting into horror movies until we were old enough to go see them by ourselves. A lot of horror movies are rated PG-13, so once I was able to get into those, that's when I really started to get into horror movies, because me and my friends, obviously that's what we wanted to go see, because we wanted to be scared and we didn't have adults with us, so that made it even scarier. And so yeah, that's when I really started to get into horror. And of course there were the R-rated ones that we snuck into until we were old enough to get into those by ourselves. So that's kind of where it started. It all started with Scooby-Doo, I guess. I think back to it, it all started with Scooby-Doo. Let me know your own origin story in the comment section down below if you would like to share. And please give this video a like if you did like it. And feel free to subscribe to the channel if you'd like to see more of my face and hear more of my voice. And thank you if you are subscribed already. And until next time, stay strange.